We're talking today a little bit about innovation. I want to talk about the importance, the significance of innovation, because sometimes when we think and talk about innovation, we talk about it as a nice to have thing instead of a have to have kind of thing. And I'm going to squash that idea that innovation is a nice to have kind of thing. I want to squash that idea. If you boil innovation down to its bare essence, innovation is about survival. The question that you need to think about is this: if the thing that we do well, if the thing that makes us money is free or irrelevant tomorrow, will we be able to survive? Because that's what's happening today. Companies are profitable and they don't think they need to change and don't think they need to innovate. The record industry didn't think it needed to innovate. Napster came along and they said, we are going to bury this guy under a mountain of lawyers. And they did that. And they still didn't change anything. They didn't innovate anything. And who did? Apple, iTunes, iPod, flipped the whole thing on its head.
Innovation is about change. You can't have innovation without change, right? We know that. But it's not just any change. It has to be significant change. It has to be change that matters to you, to your organization. And it needs to be positive. It needs to move you forward. When we consider it through that lens, all of a sudden we start to see possibilities for innovation everywhere. In how we run our business, how we interact with our customers, how we hire people, how we manage people.
And we do management really well. We've been doing management the way we do it for about a century now. We've gotten really good at it, incredibly good at it. We've gotten really good at the selection piece, and in doing so, we've sculpted almost all of the variation out of our organizations.
We know too that cultures that fuel variation are rich in these three elements: connection, inclusion, and liberation. If you cultivate these inside of a culture, it starts to create opportunities where variation can take root, where it can develop, where it can grow.
Some of you have come to believe that you're not creative, or that you're not a leader, or that you don't have a voice, or that you can't drive change. You've accepted that idea. You've come to believe that. You are playing small. You make it easier for the people around you. We want to push back on that. We want greater authenticity in the workplace. If you want more variation, probably the number one place to go is the heads and hearts of your employees, the people that are already bought and paid for on the payroll. The most wasted resource that we might have in our organizations is the ideas and experiences and perspectives inside those heads. So it's important to be thinking about this. Am I making my full, authentic, and unique contribution? Am I supporting it in my peers? Are we building it into the culture? Do people feel safe bringing their whole self to work? Or is that hard to do inside of your organization? Do we push that out? And we like to go beyond talking about just being authentic. We like to use the phrase flying your freak flag, because this phrase reminds us that this is an activist thing. Be authentic sounds like an intellectual endeavor. This is not intellectual, this is activist. It is hard work. If you are being true to who you are, there are going to be times when you are the weirdo, when you are the oddball, when you are the heretic and the outlier. Authenticity requires that we get a little bit more comfortable playing that role. If you haven't been in the minority in a while, if you haven't been the oddball, you should pay attention to that. You're probably playing small.
So this is the model: connection, inclusion, liberation, right? And this is an opportunity. I think it's a tremendous opportunity for us in the HR space, those of us that do talent work and people work, because we're always talking about wanting to have greater significance and greater impact and be a business leader. We've established that innovation is about evolution, which is about the survival of our business. You don't have to master all of these things. Start somewhere. Start looking for opportunities to fuel a little more connection, a little more inclusion, a little more liberation. Right? Go where the momentum is, go where the opportunity is, and as you start to cultivate that, you'll start to see greater variation, greater opportunity for variation, which starts to make innovation more likely.
And I think kind of the important takeaway is to look for some small opportunities to generate some change right away. As I said at the beginning, change is coming to your industry. You want to make sure that your organization can survive it. If you don't think that it could survive disruptive change today, if your products and services became free or irrelevant, then you should want to do something about that. Buckminster Fuller said that we are called to be architects of our future and not its victims. If we don't do something different than we did yesterday, we can't expect tomorrow to be any different. We can't expect our capacity to innovate and survive to be any better. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. We've had a wonderful time being with you this afternoon.